is he solidified as a center? Is there a chance he winds up in a power forward role at some point as well? Because, 6'10", you could play him next to a 7-footer depending on how that shot eventually becomes, correct?
Well, and the Suns did list him as a forward in the press release they sent out with the official signing of him as well.
Gerald, I want to know, in your estimation, Flex, I'd love to hear your thoughts as you've watched a lot of tape as well. Is he solidified as a center? Is there a chance he winds up in a power forward role at some point as well? Because, 6'10", you could play him next to a 7-footer depending on how that shot eventually becomes, correct?
Well, and the Suns did list him as a forward in the press release they sent out with the official signing of him as well.
You want to go first, G? Or
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, so no, I view him as both. Again, 6'10", 236. Again, I don't want people to overreact with the comparisons, but I very much view him as a guy that can come in and play a similar role to a Draymond Green, where Draymond can play the small ball center, he can be the point forward. This guy's point guard skills or ability to bring the ball up, diagnose defense, work out off the top of the key, off of screens, at the elbow. Gerald mentioned it, man. He's got some really unique things that he does with his shot. He's got some really nice push shots, really nice floaters. He uses both hands. If you watch enough of tape, you'll see he doesn't just go right or left. He's okay depending on how you're guarding him, using both hands. And so I really like this kid, and I think we're going to be surprised with what this kid could potentially do. He's very young, but he scored pretty well as an athlete at the combine too. I mean, I thought he had a 40-inch standing vert. So when you watch the Marquette tape, the way they ran their offense with Tyler Collect, I could see this guy being a sneaky athlete where you're like, whoa, we didn't expect that. So I think he can put pressure on the rim too. There's a lot I like about him. The one thing I want to stress to people is he's not a shooter. Like, you can watch all his film at Marquette. You'd be hard pressed to find him take a traditional jump shot. Like, he just doesn't do it. And that's something that he's going to have to get better at and potentially get deeper out to the 3-point line. But if he can do that, if he can, solidify his jump shot and hit the 3-ball, G, I think that emphasizes why you give him a 4-year deal. And that makes him a clear first-round pick in my eyes. I think those are the missing pieces to really tapping in and unlocking this kid.
Yeah, I think with him defensively, I think he's optimized as a 4 because we've talked about it before, but he's switchable. He can guard multiple positions. He's got the lateral footwork to contain guards on the other end. And that's what you want out of a 5. That's the one thing he brings to the table defensively that I don't think you can count on with Nurk and Mason Plumlee, which is why he might get more minutes as a rookie than we would expect, despite being behind those two in the pecking order. I do think offensively, though, he's more of a 5 in terms of you would want him as a screen setter, a rim runner, a lob threat, and a playmaking. You would optimize him probably best as a 5. The problem is, and this is one of his weaknesses, he doesn't play physically enough. Like, he's going to have to get stronger. You could say that about a lot of rookies, but even at the college level, his rebounding numbers weren't great. His shot blocking numbers weren't great. He was, guys could front him pretty well. Guys driving on him were able to, if they were driving with force, stick their shoulder into his chest and kind of finish past him. So he is going to have to play with more physicality. You think about some of the playmaking bigs in the league, like Nikola Jokic, Domantas Sabonis, Alperen Şengün. They're very skilled in what they do, but they're also very physical in the way they're not afraid to stick their elbow in your chest and go right through you. So that is something Oso is going to have to get better at if he wants to be a 5, because as of right now, I think he's more optimized as a 4 with probably a rim protecting big next to him. The Suns just don't really have that at this point in time. So that's going to be something that raises his ceiling if he is able to play more physically, hold his own on the glass, that type of thing.